Hey, welcome to Gear Time, everybody. It's Thursday. It's just after 1 p.m. We had a little bit of a trouble setting. We got set up pretty quickly, but
we were perfect.
We were a little late today, so apologize for that. But we are getting started today, and today's topic is tripods.
Tripod show and tell day.
We have an arsenal, literally. I don't know if you guys can see behind me. There is a stack of tripods of different kinds. We're going to go through the gamut today and show you guys. You know, we're going to start at the low end, $50 to $80, $100 range, and go all the way up to what? What's the most expensive tripod you have here today?
I think the 24L from Really Right Stuff, including the leveling base and the BH40 ball heads, probably around just under $2,000.
Okay. All right, so we're going to talk to you guys from budget conscious all the way up to if money isn't a problem, you want the best, biggest, yet lightest, biggest for lightest and sturdy. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go, you know, shoot in water or with waves, something like that, and you don't always have a weight counterweight, then this is the kind of tripod you want, right? Really big, bulky,
it'll hold
good sturdy
weight, but
it'll hold like 20-something pounds, right?
I've hooked my bag on it. I think it weighs more than that. But anyhow, what you've got there, this is a Manfrotto.
Yes.
Just a basic buy it at Office Max kind of deal. Or Walmart. Right?
Yeah, you can get these. I don't know if Walmart sells them, but you can get them anywhere online for about 50 to 60 bucks.
Okay.
And it's a basic tripod. It's got 4 sections, so it pulls out pretty tall.
Wow!
As you can see, you know, from the floor all the way up to here, that's pretty good for this tiny little unit that folds up really small.
But it has, if you look here, there's no bushings. There's just
it's very
2 screws that kind of screw into each other that hold the.
It's all plastic. Yep. And so it's aluminum tubes with plastic housing. You can, you know, put this in almost anywhere.
Center column.
Yeah, we use this a lot of times for lights.
Just to hold the light.
For a light panel, so we'll put the light panel on here. We can adjust it. We can make it pretty high. It's great for that. So. And
then this one is a Benro, and this is an aluminum one. This one is about 80 bucks. This is a TSL08A, and it's a magnesium aluminum tripod. Has the twist to extend. What are those things called? The releases like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, it works. This one is brand new. I actually was given this when I bought stuff on Black Friday last year. I think,
okay. So it was a freebie with the purchase.
Yeah, freebie with purchase up at our local camera store, Picture Line in Salt Lake. And
so it comes with a little ball head. That's pretty awesome. And it has a little L bracket plate.
And the plate. And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty standard plate size. I mean, it works for 80 bucks. I think that's a good little tripod. It's inexpensive, comes with a bag, and it's relatively light and relatively compact. Now, this one, if you extend it out, I mean,
it's
it
pretty
has
tall.
A center column.
Yeah, and it has a center column that pops up even higher.
It's about the normal height for one of these travel tripods, I think.
Yeah, it seems similar to the one we just had.
Why don't we leave that out, and then we can set it in front, and then we can kind of compare them.
Okay.
Okay, so there we go. We'll set that in front
so
there.
That's just over table height. So this is the kind of perfect tripod if you've got a small micro 4/3 or APS-C size camera.
I like that size. Obviously for traveling, that's really what it's designed for. It works well. So,
but would you fit your full size camera with with the battery pack grip and all that stuff on there?
I
the
think
ball head
so.
seems pretty small.
The box will tell us what the weight limit is on it. Let's see. What does that say?
No, the instructions will say
maybe.
It's
brand new, so I have never really used it. I think I would. I think it would hold a full size. I think it would be pushing it on that one. But I think it would do the trick. I think it'll hold 10 pounds.
So when you're looking at tripods, you want to look at the specs. The specs will tell you the maximum weight limit, and you want to put your camera, like if you've got a big lens and your body's got the extra battery grip and all that stuff, that thing could weigh like 8 pounds. And if your tripod's only capable of holding 4 to 6 pounds, obviously there's a mismatch there. You don't want to push your tripod too far.
And you get on the other end, and you get to the point where they're heavy duty enough. The tripods are heavy duty enough to hold a big video camera, or like a full size SLR. Like if you get into the Really Right Stuff series, they've got the 14, the 24, and the 34 series, and then they've got with the 24, they've got an L and the 34L. And for me, I use Sony, and I could not see where I would ever want to carry a 34L. I mean,
it's just so big.
They're beefy.
Yeah.
The plate the mounting plate for your camera is going to be like seriously about this high.
Really, when it's fully extended?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's without a center column or anything. It's
so you get like, you have to be like standing on something to like get it to work. Okay, so so this is, I bought this for just about $100 used. This is an old Manfrotto tripod. I've been using this as my travel tripod, and I bought this head for general use about a couple years ago. I think I've been using it. No, maybe just over a year. And this is a Calumet. They're not even in business anymore. But
I haven't even ever heard of them.
Yeah, they were like a Manfrotto.
So it's aftermarket. A Calumet head.
Yeah,
head?
Yeah. And then and on eBay I bought a Chinese, it's called iShoot, a Chinese L bracket clamp, which is nice and beefy that I use for my L bracket. So I got this ball head because it's the same size as the column on this, and it fits nicely. But the thing is, with the cheaper fluid heads, you have fluid inside.
Okay.
And part of the problem with this is that the fluid gets really warm in the summertime and gets really soft.
This actually has a fluid head?
Yeah, you can actually see like the fluid down below, down the bottom. Yeah. So when you let it go on the bottom, you can actually fluidly pan it like nice and smooth.
Interesting.
But when you're doing landscape photography, even like portrait photography, you don't need that. You don't really need that unless you're doing video, right?
Okay.
So it's kind of like a waste to have it in here. But now it's like oozing out the side because it gets really slow. Like when it's cold in wintertime, it's like really hard. It's easy to turn right now because it's fairly warm in here. But when I take it outside in the winter, it gets really sluggish.
I've seen people take these apart, and really what they usually are is they've got a couple of washers and they just have some heavy grease.
Exactly,
so
exactly. I want to take it apart and clean it out because I don't even really need it.
Okay. So,
but this has a twist lock. So the thing with this is it has a twist lock. It's an old style. I like the clamps better.
Grab that old one I've got right here.
This big one here?
Yeah, and see, I'm so old. I bought this one brand new in 1996, I think. Okay. That's one thing I have found about tripods is that there's something that you're going to probably own forever unless you lose one.
Exactly. Exactly.
And this is interesting because this one and this
it's
one
like the mini version of that.
Similar.
Yeah.
This is a Bogan, and this is Bogan with Manfrotto, and so Bogan is one of the companies.
It's like they're like a licensed reseller or something, or they actually.
What happened is Bogan was purchased by Manfrotto. So if you grab that my monopod,
so like they were made like different facility kind of thing, but the same company.
It was actually like they were probably made in a completely different factory at that moment still. Because Bogan was purchased by Manfrotto. Yep, that's it. And then what they did is they called this their high-end line for a while.
Oh, okay.
And then they kind of just absorbed them, and they don't talk about Bogan anymore.
Yeah, it kind of faded away.
And this one is what they ended up sort of replacing with. This is a monopod that I've got that's from Gitzo. So this is a GM 2541 monopod. It's their nice 6X carbon fiber.
Ooh, yeah.
And so I've got this, and then I've got a monopod head. Now, monopod head is different because a monopod head only has two axes. And the reason that it does is because you put your camera on with your big, especially with your big sports lens or your wildlife lens, and the idea is that you'd hold it, you put this on your lens.
Yeah, and you can just loosen that, kind of adjust it.
Well, you can go back and forth. I mean, you get it down this way, and you go back and forth this way. But if you have a full ball head on it, then it'll kink and it could go sideways this way or something. And so that's why you do that. But this one is a Gitzo, and Gitzo was purchased by Manfrotto as well. And now Gitzo is the high line for for Manfrotto.
Oh, okay.
So that's what's happened. But Bogan once was, and I have literally had this tripod for 22 years. I bought it originally because back then I bought a different head. This is a cheap head that we've got, cheap ball head that I bought off of Amazon or something. But I bought that tripod to do QuickTime 3D or
QuickTime VR. Okay.
Yeah, and you get a Vertiflip head, and I had my little Kodak DC-40 camera that I could flip vertical on the axis, and it had this little thing that would shift it to where it would flip it vertically. And you know, that's before L bracket. So that's the way it kind of did it. And so that the actual plate would flip.
Yeah.
And it would keep it directly above the center column.
Right. And those were expensive too. I remember when VR first came out, that was like
the tripod
$5,000 to $10,000 setup just to get the VR going.
Well, I didn't spend that much, but the tripod with the Vertiflip head and the tripod head that I have sold now that was massive to hold a little point and shoot camera. It was also very expensive. It was the first 1 megapixel, digital camera that they ever came out with, and that the tripod and the head and everything at that point probably cost $700.
Okay.
And that's in $1996, so it's probably $1,200-1,500
right
so
today. Yeah,
it's different. But that's
really beefy,
built like a tank. And
this is like the mini version of that.
It has the lever lock.
So yours is nice because your lever lock just goes down like one click. Mine twists. You can twist it all the way off if you want to, which I'm not a fan of. But it's nice and light, and I've taken this with me. Because it's lighter than my bigger tripod. So.
I would hate carrying this anywhere. I do hate carrying this anywhere. I don't really use it for that. We use it in real estate with our, at this point, we use it with, we've got one of those Matterport cameras. And
that's a pretty big unit, right? And so you don't want to be messing with that and dropping that. So, so I've been using this instead of, this is what I also picked this up used. Now I gotta say, this is actually the cheapest one I've actually bought used, and you can see it's quite a bit substantial.
Yeah, it is.
So when I'm going out doing night photography, I take this guy.
Is it heavier?
It's heavier.
Too?
It's heavier, and it's aluminum, but it's quite a bit bigger, and it's really stable, and it gets really big. It gets really tall.
Who makes this one?
This is actually a, what is the company again? It's not Target, it's the other one.
So one of those companies that's like
I actually got 2 of them for like $35. Oh. From some. Okay. And I got a Manfrotto leveling base on it, and I use this for my night photography. So what I do is if I'm at a landscape that's kind of like off center, I loosen this guy, and this is a Manfrotto head that I got with this tripod that I got used, and you put your camera on there and you can adjust this leveling base to make it totally level.
And this little plate has a bubble level on it.
Yeah, this has a bubble level, and I put my ball head on top of this.
Right.
And then when this base is level, and my ball head can be any direction, and I can do a pano at any time, and it's perfect. Like it's really nice.
I love that, and the leveling base that I have on my 24L is worth it to me to carry. And then I have a pano head for it from Really Right Stuff as well. That allows me to take and flip the camera on vertically to where you can set it back behind, and so what it does is it allows you to set this to where the
like the lens itself is centered, right?
Well, what it does is it puts the iris of the lens or the right above the center column of that, so that you don't get parallax.
Yeah, so when you're panning from left to right, you don't get objects kind of overlapping, and so your panorama stitches like perfectly.
Yeah, especially if you need that if you're going to put something in your foreground. If there's nothing in your foreground, it doesn't
that
really
big of a
matter.
deal.
But
yeah.
you need one of those if you're going to put something in your foreground. And I've got the small one. Really Right Stuff makes it's
a nodal point. Yes.
Yeah, a nodal point thing.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, thank you, Josh.
And so. This one I bought used. I bought this beefy one to replace the other Manfrotto that I broke because I had the legs extended like this far, and then I fell off of a log only 3 feet into the water, but it was enough for my body weight to bend all 3 of these metal poles.
Really Right Stuff, you couldn't bend it.
No, I know, but that was also,
it costs a little bit more money.
I'm always in the used market, so I always like to get my stuff as cheap as possible. And so this one was the best deal I could find. I bought 2 of them, and I had to replace a leg. That's why these all have 3 foam pieces.
Okay.
And but I'm happy. I like the foam because it's not going to be as cold. This is freezing when I touch it because it doesn't have foam covering it. Yep. And this is where I'm going to take out my Astro. I don't go big long hikes with this, but I take this out when I'm doing really long exposures at night. This is my beefy tank for that. So
okay, what do we got next?
What we have next is the next one. Oh, how about a really cheap carbon fiber Chinese one?
This is a Weifeng carbon fiber Chinese.
So this is also a travel tripod, but it's really small. It does have, yeah, it is, and it's only 3 sections instead of 4.
How much does it cost?
It still gets. I got this used for about 60 bucks, I think.
Okay.
But I think they retail for about $100-ish.
You know, carbon fiber or not, I
it's
think
so
I'd still.
light.
I know, but I think I'd still take that Benro over that.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see how tall it gets compared to the Benro. And it doesn't seem to be as tall, but I'm saving this one for my kid, basically. This would be a great little travel tripod for a kid with a single camera, without like a lot of big lenses.
It's taller. This is like the L series instead of the regular one.
So yeah, it gets pretty tall, but I think my kid can use this in a couple years with just her regular camera with a single lens, no extra battery grip and all that stuff. So, but it's really light. I think that'll be great for that for my kid to use.
This has the twist locks, and I like the twist locks because you can deploy the tripod so much quicker.
And I like this, and I like the snap down locks. I'm not a huge fan of the twist locks, but I've never owned a tripod with a twist lock, so maybe I need to try that out.
They're so fast. So okay, what else do we got?
Okay, so we got a monopod here.
Oh, that's also kind of interesting. So I've got 2 monopods. I use this one if I'm going to Yellowstone and I've got a big lens, or if I'm going to go shoot my kid's football game or something like that. I got this one a long time ago, again for real estate. And the reason that I did is this one has this unique little feature right here. And so in real estate, with my tripods, I always get the center column, and people always are like, well, the center column makes it so your tripod is not as sturdy because that center piece puts it up higher, and you really should just put it right on the base in the middle. And I totally get that, except I'm shooting architecture inside, and I don't have as much. I need more height without being able to spread it out so much.
And if you're not getting tossed by wind or things knocking you around, you're inside,
so
right?
I still get center columns on stuff, and if I was doing like strictly architectural, I wouldn't. Okay. If I was doing landscape, I wouldn't. But a lot of times I'm literally shooting with lenses that are so wide, and you angle it down just a little bit, or I use one of my tilt shift lenses that I can get the foot of the tripod in the field of view.
Right.
And aside from that, you've got hallways and things like that. It just doesn't work.
Right.
But this is one of those things that's a solution for that. So I got this. This is a Manfrotto. They come in black and silver, and you can still buy one.
Yeah, I've got an old black one that's exactly the same model, except it's black and it doesn't have that little extra foot thing. And so that looks like an extra option that you have to buy when you purchased it.
It came with
originally.
it for me, but this is one of those things that I mean, you saw it out.
It's a really cool addition.
But it's a cool little thing, and a lot of times these days I actually will use this as a light stand for like when we're out shooting Milky Way and you need a foreground light or something like that, because
it's just wide enough.
Spin that on, and then again it has the clamps.
You go all the way up to the ceiling,
and it's pretty high.
Yeah,
and while it doesn't, I mean, it's not going to sit there.
But for a light that only weighs like a pound,
or even for my camera inside the house, I can take that. I can just leave that in the car, and I can get in and out of someplace really quick.
Yeah,
and it works well.
That's cool.
So it's a little bit different. Those are the 2 monopods that I have.
Okay,
but this one is obviously designed for different things than the other one where you're running around.
Right.
So okay. What else we got?
So let's do a couple of smallish. We got like a tabletop tripod.
Yes, this
one's gonna be a little pricier. This is all aluminum, really right stuff, right?
No.
Sunway Photo.
This is Sunway Photo, and so I looked really hard because I love Really Right stuff. Really Right stuff is really expensive.
But the design, I thought it was automatically by looking at it.
It's exactly the same design. And
it's the Assembly Photo knockoff.
Pisses me off because the truth is that, you know, Really Right stuff spends a lot of money and a lot of time getting engineering done.
They research and design it all, right?
Yep. And then
from scratch.
Get copied, and you get some Chinese company that knocks them off. The thing is,
they reverse engineer it and do a pretty good job, you know, knocking it off.
And this is almost, I can't tell any different. But with the carbon fiber tripods, huge difference. You just don't get, they're not the same. This one is, I mean, fully extended right here. This is it. Okay. And you can see, you can take and you can
flip it and have
flip one of these
spike
legs
on one side or rubber on the other side. That's
so
cool.
It has I flipped one just to show people.
Okay.
This one, what I use this for, and it's compact. You can use it as a tabletop. But the other thing you can use it for is you can use it doing macro work.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really nice. You know, you take this and you get down, especially since my tripods have a center column.
This one does not.
I can't
so
get
low. Really low, right?
And so with this one, I mean, you know, I will tell you what, you put it down like this, and this thing is, and here's
that's about as low as you go without getting your camera actually on the ground.
Well, and you want to.
Or on the ground, look at that.
Well, look at this.
It has rubber pads.
This has other legs really there, which is designed to sit that flat.
Okay.
Or you can bring it up one like this, and that is, I mean, you could stand on that thing.
Right.
That is super tough.
Yeah. It looks tough. It's got really good construction.
Well, they copied Really Right stuff.
Right.
But I'll take this when you go do tide pools or something like that, where you need real sturdy, but you don't need the height. This one works really well. And this, if I remember right, this is about maybe $100. And then with the head that came with it, had a nice ball head that came with it. It might take you up to. Careful, you're leaving black marks. But
yeah, rubber.
But with the ball head that goes on this, you might take it up to I don't know, $200 maybe. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
It is. It's a nice cool little tripod. I had to buy a separate bag for it and stuff, but it works.
Okay, that's
and
great.
all this fits together in there, but you can flip these around real easy to where you have either a little spike
or rubber ball
on there. So
that's cool.
That works. Now
I might want one of those.
This one, well, if you need short, it works. This one is also by Manfrotto, and this is the Be Free.
Okay, I've seen this one advertised before.
This is a little travel tripod. It flips around like that, and then you can set your how wide you want by you push these up like this, and then it pushes up, and it's kind of spring loaded. It twists, and so
it's a little different. It looks like it's a little difficult to maneuver, but
yeah, I mean,
but you get something you get used to if you use it over and over, right?
Well, and this is aluminum. It's Manfrotto. I mean, it's been used enough. It has a little bit of sand in it still.
Yeah.
But it works pretty well, and it's been on some trips with us. It has a rubber grip on one of them because it is aluminum. So with the aluminum ones, having something on at least one of the legs to insulate your hand is smart.
Yeah, that's why. That's why my big one has the rubber pad, the foam pads on each leg because it does get cold.
But that one's $150.
Okay.
And it has a ball head. For the money, I might take the Benro instead. You know?
Right.
Now, the other thing you have to worry about with these is that Manfrotto has their own plates.
Yeah, and I noticed you put this is a different plate than that came with it, right?
I had to buy another plate because I like these Arca Swiss.
The Arca Swiss style is really nice.
Plates, and this didn't work with it, and so I swapped it out, and it's because I used the Peak Design plates and capture clips, and we'll cover that as a second thing here as Peak Design stuff, but I wanted to be able to use my Peak Design capture clips to slip those on, and obviously the plates for Manfrotto are different, so I replaced the head and the clamp on the top. You can do that. You can do that with any tripod. You can replace
with most.
Well,
with the really cheap ones, it's harder.
Not, but usually, like even this Benro has, I mean, it has one that works with the.
It's already Arca Swiss.
Swiss, but there's a screw that goes down into the little ball, and you can replace it if you wore it out, or if you want a clamp style instead, or.
So I get clamp style like this on eBay. You can get them for like anywhere from like 20 to 40 bucks, depending on what kind of style you want.
And be careful. I mean, that's one of the things that, you know, I've heard of people getting cheap ones and dumping cameras, because I will carry my tripod with my camera on it over my shoulder all the time with Really Right Stuff tripods, and I never worry about it. With the other ones, they make me nervous. So
see, that's why with mine, I went for the more expensive ones. So this is one that has a lock. This clamp has a lock, so you can't open it. Yeah, this is closed, and you can't. It locks all the way locked, and it locks halfway. So I got that option because I thought, okay, great, because I heard about people dumping their cameras, and I always carry mine like this too. But when I know it's locked, it's in there. It's not going anywhere.
If you trust it, that's the only thing.
I've been using it for over a year like that, and so far it's been really good. Now it is getting worn out. You can see I've used it quite a lot, and maybe it needs a little bit of greasing up and stuff because it gets a little, you know, sticky sometimes. But so far it's been pretty strong.
What else?
And now I'm tangled up here. Okay. Let's see. Now we're going to go to a huge video tripod.
This is an older one. I had a newer one of these that was about it cost me $900 when I used to have a really nice professional video camera, and I sold it because it was so expensive, and I didn't have my video camera anymore, and so I wasn't that worried about it.
For regular photography, this is overkill.
This is completely different. Now I use it when I'm doing. I mean, what I've done is you can see right here. It has this this plate
Arca Swiss plate on it. Yeah.
But I put the Arca Swiss plate on
top of the other plate. I've done that before too. Yeah.
But the idea behind a fluid head is that you use this lever handle, and it tracks around, and then if you get over here, you can see where what they've got is they've got an adjustment that adjusts how tight, or how fluid that is. And these fluid heads are really good for tracking with a video camera when you're looking at somebody up on a stage, or something like that. And so I had sold that one, and then I bought some cheapie from Amazon that had relatively good reviews. And right after that, I found this one at a pawn shop.
Oh, really?
And it was $100.
Oh, that's a steal, actually.
It is a steal.
Because I know when you buy these new, these things should cost you like $400 or $500. Like normally with this setup, this can be really pricey.
The brand new one that I got that comes with the red Manfrotto bag and everything like that, the red and black bag, it was about $900. And this is probably the previous model to the new one.
And this one has a different crank too. This one actually has a crank, so it actually has like little notches, and you can crank it nice and smooth up. I mean, this is for like the kind of thing you have like a $10,000 to $20,000 video camera with big, huge lenses, and this can hold like 50 pounds of weight. You know,
mine was about a $5,000 video camera, but I mean that's.
But this is the kind of thing you'd see in a production.
Now, if you've got one of these, this will work great for night photography.
Oh yeah.
You know,
you don't want to go very far with this though.
No, if you just set it up outside your car, there you go. This will work great. But
for hikes, oh man, this would kill you.
And this one, it has 2 leg extensions right here. So you have one that comes out here, and then it has this one will actually.
And this one slides out from here,
So it gets to where you've got some height.
It gets really high,
But it's nice, but it's not what a landscape photographer is really looking for.
Am I tightening this right way? Okay.
It's nice, but it's not.
No, not for normal photography. This is overkill.
It's a little different.
Yeah, this is more of a specific need when you got a big video camera and you're going to use that in a big production.
Now, the next one I've got is this one, and this is the first one that I considered pretty nice.
Okay.
This is my first sort of expensive tripod. This is one my wife uses more than anything now.
Okay.
And this is a Photo. It's the Traveler series, I think, and it's the carbon fiber one. So so this has carbon fiber. It's actually right now. It's this will screw off just like the other ones where where you can take this out, and then you can use this as the top piece with one of the legs.
Oh, as a monopod.
To become a monopod.
Okay.
And
so that could be very useful.
Somehow when my wife was using it, there's usually a little rubber ring that sits in that groove. But this is nice. It has a hook that is a spring-loaded hook, so you can hang your bag on it.
Okay.
This does come with the center column. It comes with...
It's very sturdy, though. It's nice and
comes with
thick.
Foot spikes. It that comes with this little ball head. The little ball head is it's about the same kind of ball head as the TQC14 from Really Right Stuff. Okay. But like a BH30 ball head, it's about that.
Okay.
It is not nearly as strong as the Really Right Stuff one. I can crank it all the way down, and it's not even all the way cranked down. It's not as sturdy, just no matter what.
Okay.
And you can see, I mean, see how that's drifted a little bit. But this is the reason that I like the twist locks, is that you just take all of them like that at the same time, and you can deploy that quick.
That is nice. Yeah.
And so you know, and putting them back is super fast and easy. But this one's really light, and it's a good one. It's been all over the world with me, and I like it. But it is. I mean, one of these is about $300.
Okay.
And that comes with the bag and the spikes and everything. That's pretty high.
And it gets pretty tall.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get it on there.
Woo.
Yeah, that nearly touches the ceiling from here, so
that's nice.
That's a good height.
I would say it compares quite well, and it might be a little taller than the TQC14.
And it's really light. Like, that's incredibly light.
Yeah.
For how big it is.
Well, and that has the little pads. I bought those pads from.
Well, the pads are great too, so that you don't. Yeah, you don't get cold hands when you hold it.
I mean, it comes with one of them insulated, but I put the other pads on because I like to throw it. Again, you put it on your shoulder, or if you handle it in the winter, the pads are nice. So, I have a TQC14. I didn't bring it. Sorry, guys. But I've got another really nice. Okay,
this gets about as long as my metal one, and I'm really liking this. Yeah, and I love how light it is.
4 pieces. You know, the trade-off when you have a 4-section leg versus a 3-section leg, is you've got one more joint to wobble. Right. One more joint to clean crap out of.
Right. So I do like the 3 legs typically, but they're a bit bigger. They don't get as compact as this.
That's the thing. These are shorter, and that's super nice when you're traveling. And as often as you're traveling, that combination of still being able to get some height and be able to move with it is nice. So this would be a great travel tripod, I think. Yeah, I use this one for quite a few. This is probably 3 or 4 years old, you know.
And if you took the center column out, you'd have even more room to pack this in a bag.
Well, one of the neat things that this will do is you can take this off, you take that center column out, and you can reverse it.
Right.
So you can hang that below. So if you're doing
some tricky macro or
like that,
plant shot from high up, you get a stability, but then you can really get down, and that's awesome. That's cool.
But I mean, once you've gone with the Really Right Stuff or a really good like Gitzo Mountaineer or something like that, you can tell that it's still not quite
the engineering just isn't quite at the same level, right?
Yeah, I mean, right here you can see those lock washers that are back in there, those little serrated almost lock washers. It's got those where if you get like a Gitzo Mountaineer or a Really Right Stuff, those are brass, and there's some real difference. Now, I don't have the new Really Right Stuff tripods. I've got the Mark 1s. They just came out with the Mark 2, and there's some differences with the Mark 2 that we'll discuss when we lift that other one up here.
So we're going to cover Aaron's real fast, which is also carbon fiber.
Is that a Physol?
Physol, yeah. Okay. And this is it without a center column. It's really nice and compact, super light, three legs, and still gets pretty tall, you know, from the ground. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good.
This is a CT-3442. It looks like.
That's what it says on there.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we'll provide links to these so you guys can check out the products. We're just going to ballpark the pricing because we're not entirely sure of all the pricing because, you know, things change and the used market obviously is different.
How much does one of those cost new? You guys have any idea?
Right now it's $419.
Okay.
So it's about $420 brand new.
Okay.
Yeah, foam on all 3 sides. It has little tiny clips. You can extend the legs out.
Okay.
And this is great for getting really low too. I mean, look at how small that gets. That's great. Really pretty cool.
Get down in the waves.
Yeah. And he's taken this all over the place, and this is his primary tripod. I don't think you have any other tripods, do you? Just use this mostly all the time.
Yeah.
Or I'm switching back and forth because I've got cheap used crap that I use all the time. So now we're going to go to this guy.
Okay, we're going to skip because I don't know where I put it.
You don't want to talk about this cool little Gorilla Pod? It's not a good camera
The
tripod.
Joby Gorilla Pod. Yeah, I think we know what those are. So this is the really right stuff. It's the 24L. And so the L means that these are a little bit longer. They're about 1.5 inches or 2 inches longer per segment.
Okay.
Than the non-L version of the same thing.
When this is fully extended, it's really high. I mean, I've seen you on top of a rock, and this thing like coming up to almost your eye level.
Oh yeah.
And it was like the rock was quite a bit like this was quite a bit below you.
Yeah, let's try it. But there you go. There and there. So if we set that down,
see how much higher that gets on the floor versus the table, and then he's got the cylinder column that can go up even higher.
If you pull that up, then
it's like that is just incredibly tall.
You need your tilty screen to see what you're shooting.
Yeah. Yeah, so this would not work with my camera because my camera doesn't have a variable screen, tilt screen. So
you'd have to carry a stool with you to stand on top of it.
Yeah, yeah.
But so the other thing that this has, is this has the a leveling base.
Yeah.
Again, do we have a little camera? No.
My camera's in my bag. Okay. Where did my camera go?
We're not using the little one?
It's actually having a weird lag issue, and so I just took it down.
Okay.
So what this does, this is the leveling base, and you can see this. So what ends up happening is sometimes when you set up and you're off a little bit, say you've made it so that all 3 of your legs are equal size because you're trying to deploy really quick, right? Mm-hmm. Or you know you're going to move in just a little bit, and if you leave one of the legs a different size, then the next time you set down the tripod, it's going to be wonky. Yeah. So the leveling base adds a little bit, but it has a
a great design too.
It has a bubble level, and so you can go like that. And this is the TC. This is the 40, the BH40 ball head. They have a BH30. Okay. They've got a BH40 and a BH55.
And they get bigger in size, right? One. Yeah.
The base for it is the size that would take the bigger ball head, the 55. Okay. But with I still hike with this one, and with the mirrorless cameras, I don't think I need the bigger one, but that's why you can see there's a little bit of the platform is bigger than the ball head. But see, now you can set this up. It's level. And the reason that's valuable is when you clamp your camera onto it, and my little tripod, my TQC14 doesn't have a leveling base. Right. A couple of things that are really neat. I don't know if you knew this, but see, you're going, that stupid handle's getting in the way. Mm-hmm. Well, look at this. So you pull it out.
Pull it out, and then you can adjust it, right?
And then you just switch it. Yep. There you go.
Nice.
So you can pull it out, you can switch it, you can pull it out, you can tighten it up again, so you can move that. It disengages when you pull it out, so that you can move it. So I could set that up to where it's. Let's see. There we go. To where it's tight, right here. Okay. Well, and a lot of times I'll use the. A lot of times I'll use the leveler
on the camera, yeah.
But one of the other things what we really should talk about and review is I just buy a couple of those plastic bubble level cubes and put one on top of there a lot of times, especially if I know I'm going to be doing panoramas. I like that.
Yeah.
because then I can be looking at a different screen that has my histogram on it, because my histogram and my level on the Sony aren't on the same screen.
Okay.
And so I'll put the little cube on the top in the flash, in the foot for the flash. But see, what you've got now is this one tightens up on the ball head, tightens this up to where this pans this way. But I can leave it and then it will stay level, even though obviously the tripod is not level.
And that's what's so awesome, guys, is when you're doing a panoramic and you're, especially the night sky, you're gonna be doing 2 or 3 rows.
Yeah.
So having this already level, and then you have the freedom to loosen this, go up a little bit, and then go all the way around the same without losing any of your levelness, is just, it saves you so much time.
It is.
It's ridiculous how awesome it is.
It's a little bit of weight, but I love it, and I would never get rid of it.
Even my level base, that's literally twice as big as this, weighs like, it's like not even a pound. It's like really light because it's just all aluminum, you know. And so, and this may weigh similar, maybe even a little bit less. But yeah,
awesome.
So it's not that big of a deal to have on there, and it saves you tons of time. Now mine costs about $100 used market, because I don't know if they actually make those new anymore.
I think
yours probably
like
costs
$300
bucks or so.
That.
Yeah,
but and the ball head, even a BH40 is about $430 or something for the ball head.
Okay.
The tripod is about $1,200 for this one. And it has some neat things.
It's really beefy.
The other thing that this has that's kind of cool is you can undo this, and it has a Really Right Stuff, super crazy expensive tool that goes right here. It's and you undo this, and it has
all your little bits.
Every single bit. And actually,
wow.
See, I've got a bag for this down here, and this is the bag. This does not come with it. You gotta buy a bag separately, and the bag I keep another set for the other star heads and stuff like that go in the hand. Like I could put this set in the handle, or you can put this set in the handle. So I've got that.
So if you have one set that you use more often, you just put it in there.
Yeah, exactly. And then this is strong enough; it will hold weight on a hook and stuff. Now, they've redesigned this on the Mark IIs. This it works a little bit differently. That's one of the things on the Mark IIs that's different. Another thing is Really Right Stuff has adopted the XQD little thing, and what those are is they're these little snap locks that fit into this little hole. This is Really Right Stuff L bracket, and so you can take that and you can put a strap on it and then just carry it, and you push in on the snap lock and it pops out. Well, what is this thing called? The base. It's not the base. They actually call it something. I can't remember. This part of the tripod has one of those XQD holes in it on one side. It has another little hole where you can mount this little mount that allows you to put a second screen or a cell phone holder or something like that. So if you're running an app with your camera, you can mount your cell phone up there and leave it all night. If you're doing tracking or whatever you want to do, you can do that. It also has a couple of holes here, so there's no... One of the things that happens with these things is that you go like this and you pull it out, and the volume of air that's inside the leg all of a sudden becomes bigger. And so what it's doing is it's pulling air through the joints.
And dust and stuff pulls in there.
If you got sand in there and stuff, now you've pulled all the sand into the inside of the leg. And so they've solved that with the Mark IIs with 2 ways. One, they've redesigned... I mean, these come open nicely on this thing, to where, you know, you can come open. So those little guys will come right off.
Right. So you can take it all apart and clean it, right?
And you can take it all off and clean it. So when we go out to Oregon and it gets all full of sand, I can clean it off, and I take it in the bathtub with me and, you know, wash it all off and everything, just a cursory wash. But then when I get home, I'll fix it up, and then these little guys are replaceable, and so the wear and tear goes on this instead of on the carbon fiber.
Oh, okay, that's smart.
But there's a little. Okay, so there's a little
notch in there.
Yeah, a little notch that this goes right there.
There you go. Okay.
The other thing though that the Mark IIs have that the Mark I's don't have, you can feel a little grit in there. So sometimes you wipe that. I've got some extra grease that I carry with me.
Okay.
And so you wipe all the grease out and then put new grease in when you're out there. But the new ones have a wiper that's built into the joint, and so it's this little silicone wiper wipes the leg off before you shove it in there, and it keeps the sand outside of the joint.
So so it's like a little seal that seals it off.
It's a little seal. The other thing that they do is up here, they've got a couple of holes right up at the base that have a little filter thing on the inside of there. But it makes it so that when you pull it all out real quick, the air goes in and out up here rather than sucking it through the joint.
Okay.
Which is really nice. The other thing that these guys have, and almost any of the higher end tripods do, is you can take the feet off, and usually what I do is I carry, and you can see that is in there, but I usually carry a little bit of blue Loctite so you can tighten your foot back on, make it so that it sticks. But then you take your spikes, and if you're out where there's rocks or something like that, you can
in the sand,
and you need to plant these deeper. And I usually, what I'll do is I'll put the. Now here's the thing, really right stuff's.
Hold for a sec. You talking, but the camera turned off.
Oh dear. Really right stuff spikes cost a lot more than. So these are
aftermarket.
These are some aftermarket. They're stainless steel. They're nice. But the really right stuff one has a washer that's built in there.
Okay.
But you can screw that in, and then you just take this and
tighten it all the way up.
You stick this through the hole. That's why the hole's there. And then you can just tighten it in. And I can buy all these spikes for like $15 or $16, or the really right stuff ones for about like $100.
Oh, yeah. Big difference.
It's a huge difference. But then you've got the spiked foot. I bought some other ones, but they were too short, and I used those with the TQC14.
Okay.
So I found these longer ones aftermarket and bought those. I think they're from Faisal or somebody.
Okay.
So they work pretty well. But I love this tripod. It gets a ton of use. It is super, super sturdy. It can go all the way down to super, super low, to where these legs are literally. See, these have this. That pulls out, and that stays out. You see that?
And it just pops right back in.
So it goes like that, and you can have it completely that sturdy. Then I can bring it down to 1.
Yeah.
And it just stays right there.
Yeah.
Same thing. This, pull it out. You can bring it all the way up, and bring it back 1.
Okay.
So I mean, this obviously, unless I lose it, this is I'm like, well, I'd love a Mark II, but I'll never lose this one.
Right.
And I'd have to, it's not going to, it even has parts in it that are designed to take the wear.
Right.
And so you can wear parts out and replace them.
And that's the thing, guys. If you guys are wondering, like, why on earth would I spend $2,000 on a tripod when you can get something adequate for $200, especially in the used market? When you get to the level that you need a tripod like this, then you start understanding why. You go and do landscape photography for 4 years, and then go through a few tripods, and you'll realize maybe I can see why the value. There's value there. There's a reason it costs that price. It's not just inflation for the fact of just charging you more for nothing. Like, you get a ton of engineering, you get a ton of just good ideas and just well executed. Solid materials, it's just crazy how expensive it is to build these.
Well, and they literally, and we'll get you a tour in the future. When Really Right Stuff, like we said before, Really Right Stuff has moved their new factory from San Luis Obispo to about 6 miles from where we're standing right now. So we will, when they get the factory up and going, I mean, if you go to their website right now, everything's out of stock. Not everything, but a lot of it is. And it's because they're still in the middle of getting the new factory set up.
Okay. So we want to get there as soon as they get set up and give you guys a tour.
That's why I bought the new TQC14. It's the Mark I. the other thing is I basically I saved about $400 by buying a Mark 1 used over waiting and buying a Mark 2, but they don't even have the Mark 2s available. But here's the thing, you look at one of these and you go, oh well, here's what will either have. You'll go through. I've gone through with that other tripod that I said I bought 22 years ago. I still have it.
Right.
The difference is the new technologies come out and there's new innovation. That's one reason you might want to replace it.
Yeah, the weight savings is huge.
Or if you lost it. That could happen here too. You know, they could come out with what are they called? Those new nano whatever
carbon nanotubes or something maybe.
Or
maybe
something.
Could replace carbon fiber.
Yeah, they could come out with something. I mean, they've got the Mark IIs, and so I look at that and I go, oh, there's some neat little things there. But for one with your tripod, I enjoy using this one. I can set it up fast. I can deploy it quickly. It's lightweight. It's easy to use. And I love that. And it's bulletproof. It's tough.
Right.
But I get to use it, and I get to use it through multiple cameras. We replace cameras, we replace lenses, we replace everything. Your tripod is going to be with you for 20 years unless you use it, lose it, or you sell it to upgrade because something else comes out.
Or if you actually break it, which if cheaper tripods break.
Man,
break
I have landed on the full leg on my full weight on this thing, and I'm sure I could break it. You know, you could slam it in a car door or drive over it or something. But I mean, they are the best on the market. This and probably the Gitzo Mountaineers are probably the other ones that are really comparable to these. There are a few other companies that are starting to come out that have tripods that are kind of the equivalent in size and stuff to this. And the tripods themselves might be worth looking at. They're about $600 when one of this tripod could be like $1,100 or $1,200. Some of it, guarantee I'm paying for the name. But there's some new ones that are really nice, high end, very well built. They're lower production runs and stuff. They don't make as many as these guys do.
Right.
And they're not as polished.
Right.
But that might work. I would still, if it were me, I would buy Really Right Stuff ball head and clamp. And then I'd run that tripod, maybe, if you want to save some money. But I get these for it. These are from Lens Coat. You know, I get the same thing for my lenses. I like Lens Coat stuff. It protects it well. Okay. But it makes it so, you know.
Yeah, the foam.
Yeah, you throw that
really
over your shoulder and on a cold day, and
it's not a big deal.
No.
It's just. Yeah.
It's nice.
And what do these normally cost? This Lens Coat?
Maybe $100 or something.
For all three of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Lens Coat, if you sign up on their website, it's about every quarter they send you a
deal
special where it's 20% off.
Okay. So, similar on your lens.
Yep. Okay. Yep. But I've got this one that, like, if we travel, my wife and I usually take the 24L and the TQC14. So I take those two tripods. If I want to be really light, then we take the TQC14 and the MONOPODS carbon fiber. So that's usually what we're really traveling with if we're going somewhere. When we go out to Oregon, I think I'll probably bring this one. Yeah. I've got the TQC14 now. Again, replaced it, but I don't know that I would take that on a photography specific. I want that leveling base. I want the height. I mean, you remember when we were standing out doing Thor's Well with that one? I can stand on top of the rock with the tripod deployed in front of me 3 or 4 feet below the rock, and I'm standing on top of a rock, and the tripod's getting splashed all the way up to, you know, my waist level, and it's solid. It's no problem.
Exactly.
Matter of fact, I get off in there, and there's enough current. I'm using the tripod, holding on to it to keep myself from getting washed.
And I've got a picture of you with that splash coming over your head, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to go there again and do that.
Yeah, me too.
Well, if you guys have any comments or questions,
cover those?
Be sure to leave those in the comments.
One question came through was about a brand that I had never heard. Let me scroll back and get you guys it.
Okay.
They specifically want to know if you have any experience with Pro Media gear.
Pro Media, I've heard of it.
Yeah, Pro Media Gear is decent stuff, but Pro Media Gear is it's a brand almost like Kroger's, except for camera shops.
Oh, okay.
So
it's like white label kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you look at this.
So Akini asks, have you had any experience with the Pro Media Gear tripod, and would you consider getting one?
You know what?
Considering themselves?
I'm wrong. It's not Pro Media Gear. It's ProMaster. So this is
ProMaster. That's right.
This is a
yes,
ProMaster that is what I've put on top of this Gitzo.
Okay.
No, Pro Media Gear.
Pro Media
I don't
Gear?
know, but it may be that company that there are about 2 or 3 companies that even are on B&H and stuff where you can get good tripods that are almost the level of a Gitzo Mountaineer or one of these.
Always look at the reviews. Always look at the highest review and the lowest review. See what people are complaining about, the 1 and 2-star reviews, and see if you can live with those complaints. And sometimes people just aren't very good at using something. They leave a bad review. You can easily decipher that.
Yeah, the ones that I'm talking about, and I wish I had the names, and Pro Media Gear might be one of them. And I remember reading about them and stuff. But they're kind of between the Really Right Stuff or Gitzo Mountaineer level and the Physol level.
Okay.
And so they're not yeah, there you go. I would say Pro Media Gear is one of those. Yep, I've seen those, and I think
so.
That
Look for
would
some
be
video
a good
reviews.
Tripod. It's kind of between Physol and Really Right Stuff.
So it should be pretty decent then.
I think they would be pretty decent. For me, I decided I'd get something nice, and I got the carbon fiber Mi Photo, and that was what I was thinking was nice. And then as time went on, I realized what else was available I was really into photography. Then I kind of, you drift out for a little while, and I wasn't paying that much attention until about 5 years ago again, and then I kind of got back into it.
And things have really changed in the last 5 years too. I mean,
and
carbon fiber has really changed a lot.
Yeah, I mean, my gosh, my other one, that Bogan was a $700 piece of kit, which is literally like on this level as far as price goes with inflation, and they didn't have. I mean, magnesium aluminum, which is what that is, was top of the line at that point.
Yeah,
they didn't have this, and so when I finally decided I was going to really do it, I just said I'm going to do it right. I'm going to save a couple of extra months. I got this is me a little bit in my Christmas budget for my wife 2 years ago.
Okay,
is what bought that one, and I just said, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to get what I want, get the right one. Well, I will never have to replace it. Now the only reason I'd be even interested in replacing is because Really Right Stuff has improved theirs. Right. And so there's that. Now the other thing
let's talk about these. Let's talk about camera clips.
Yeah, the other thing I was going to talk about here real quick with you is capture clips, and Peak Design is one. Yeah, 5 minutes is perfect. Peak Design is one of those companies that they started out by doing Kickstarter stuff. They still do Kickstarter stuff, but they're in all the camera shops and stuff.
Right.
If you catch them on Kickstarter, you'll save a little money. It's safe. I would never worry about it.
Yeah, they're fully making products all the time now. So yeah.
And so what these are is this is the capture clip. This is kind of the second iteration of the capture clip here.
So that's version 2.
And I probably have 5 of these.
Okay.
I've got them on all my bags. I put them on my backpacks. You put one of these capture clips up here.
Okay.
I have them. They have a clip that you can put on. I have one that'll carry my binoculars, so I can just clip my binoculars on there. They have one for a GoPro, so you can just put your GoPro on there.
Okay.
So those work great. This is another thing that they do. Is what this does is this makes it so that you can mount 2 lenses on here. So as a lens mount, and you put one of those, and you guys have seen me use these before.
It's a great idea.
So you're out on the beach on Bandon or whatever, and you're walking away from your bag. You put your bag or leave the bag in the car, and you can take one of these. Okay, so this little knob tightens it up and makes it so tighter or not. Okay. And so you can take that. You can put it. This is a Pro Pad. You put it on your belt like that, and then you can snap your lenses in, and now you're carrying 2 lenses. and then you snap one off, replace it, put the other one on there, keeps the back of it covered. These work great.
It's really cool.
Or you can take your camera and you just pop the camera in the, I gotta make sure it's set up. Yep, it is, that's right. Now for me, this is valuable enough that, and I'm so convinced that this is worthwhile. I actually put the pro plate from the capture clip, the little Arca Swiss thing on there.
Yeah, on your L bracket.
On my L bracket. So I've got a Really Right Stuff L bracket, and I put this on the bottom of it because I want to be able to use my capture clips, because I put those here or there, whatever. This is the version 3. I've got one version 3. I like the, if I was going to start over, I'd just get version 3.
It's that much more improvement.
The truth is that for me, because I have a whole bunch of version 2s, these are a little heavier. And
this is smaller.
I like this because, I mean, you feel the difference in weight.
Oh, wow. This weighs almost nothing where I can feel this. Yeah.
And this works pretty much as well as this one does. But for me, almost all the rest of them I use are the version 2, because the version 2 plates won't work with the version 3 clip. The version 3 clip will work with the version 2 plates.
Okay.
So, so there's
interesting.
It's a little funny, but these are great, and I really enjoy them. I use them all the time. My wife uses them. You know, she has a little Peak Design like sling bag, and she can put her camera on the outside of the sling bag and have 2 lenses inside of it, and it works great. I have them on my Everyday Messenger bag. I've got them on my I've kind of moved from the Peak backpack over to the Shimoda designs because it's built more for being outside and stuff. And I have the Peak clips on the Shimoda bag.
Cool.
And I really appreciate those. I like them. This works great. This is just I mean this is the Arca Swiss plate, and it works on as the Arca Swiss on all the tripod and ball heads and everything like that. It works.
Yeah, yeah. The plate. Yeah, I saw you do that. I saw you use the plate for mounting it on your Arca Swiss mount, and it worked just great. They do. Same basic design. So it's awesome.
Yep. So we had a great week. We went out. We shot some waterfalls up in a local canyon here. That it's beautiful.
Got some fall colors. Great. Yeah.
And then day before yesterday, I went and showed some houses about 2 hours away, and on the way home I took a little bit of a detour, and I landed out. I went and shot the wild Mustangs that are out in Rush Valley.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're cool. They are cool.
And so I went and did that, and then last night I took the drone out, and I went and I shot Old Power Station, and I went and I shot the old BY Academy that they turned into the library in downtown Provo.
Oh, cool.
From the air at night. Full moon, you know. It gets me. So whenever there's a full moon, I'm usually
you got that big light source at night. You can get some cool night shots.
Yep.
Nice.
So I got out a few times this week.
Okay. Well, you guys, thanks for your questions. If you guys have more questions or comments, be sure to leave them. We can check them afterwards and respond to them later. And maybe people in the community can also help you with your questions. Come back again next Thursday at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. We'll be here again for Gear Time. Thanks for joining us, and have a great week.
Yep. If you're not a member of the Photog Adventures Facebook group, make sure you join up. You can find us there. Thanks.